Hi, do you know how to use the past perfect and is it becoming obsolete? This is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, here to help you improve your English with minimum effort and maximum benefit. So, a few years ago, I was reading some articles in Reader's Digest, and I thought, oh, there's a mistake, because there was a simple past, where I personally would have used the past perfect. So then I realized that quite a few articles were written that way, and this was really already maybe 20 or more years ago. And then I looked at the authors and realized that the authors were American. So I began to find out that in American English the past perfect is used much less. And recently I checked it out again, because for me it's a fundamental part of language. It gives a sense of time, what's today, what's yesterday, and what's further back. But I was reading about it, and the Americans justify their reduced use of the past perfect because if there is a word which will indicate that one happened before another, then they feel it's not necessary. So as an example, before the train left, I arrived. It means that I arrived on time. Instead, the train left before I arrived, again, gives the impression that the train left first and I arrived late. So personally, I prefer to stick with the old traditional past perfect, because it, as I said, it gives a sense of time. So what is the past perfect? The past perfect is first of all formed by the verb to have, but in the past, so had, and then the past participle of a verb. So for example, the train left means it went away, but if I say the train had left, it means it left before something else. So I usually like to illustrate the difference in meaning of when you use or when you don't use past perfect with exactly this example. So let's say the train is leaving at 8 a.m. and I arrive at 5 minutes to 8, so I arrive 5 minutes early. I'll say, when I arrived, the train left. That means first I arrived and then the train left, because I arrived early. But if I arrive at 8:05, then of course first the train leaves and then I arrive. So I say, because the first example was simple past and simple past, in the second example I say, when I arrived, the train had left, which means here is the train and here am I arriving. So the train had left and then I arrived. So when I arrived, the train had left. I arrived is again simple past, but because the train left before I arrived, I have to indicate that the train left before using the past perfect. So the train had left. And for me, it's absolutely fundamental to use the past perfect to give this sense of different times in which things happen. So I recommend that if you want to speak a nice, correct English, you use the past perfect. I hope this was a useful example. If you haven't, subscribe immediately, and see you again in the next video. Bye!